What's up, everybody? Ben Rezzi here for Odd Chopper, bringing you a little NFL action, early week, late week, right before the kickoff, survivor picks analysis, week 2. Hopefully, step 1 is surviving. We'll talk about what happened in week 1, and then talk about some of the candidates that I think you probably should consider when making your week 2 selection. Welcome to Odd Chopper, all things betting. If you haven't seen us before, check out the channel. See what you think. I think you're going to like it. If you do, like it. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this very channel. So last week, pretty much everything, the Ravens and Washington were the two most popular picks. Both got through the landmine, of course, right on me. Minnesota Vikings went down. They took about 10 to 15% of pools from what I saw again. And then if you went very off the wall, depending on who you picked, a couple percent here, a couple percent there. But for the most part, I'd say the majority of people did get through, and now it just gets one step harder. So let's get into these. I'm going to give you a couple candidates and then where I'll be going for Survivor this week. First up, and I'm on Odd Chopper, just pulling you the money line just to give you some kind of context about where these teams are. We don't have the full picture of this game because there's obviously news lurking, but it seems, barring a true miracle, that Zach Wilson will be marching the New York Jets into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. You see the Cowboys are upwards of minus 350. I think that could go even higher on the money line. The Jets pulled off one of the wildest games I've seen in quite a while. Now they get a short week, hit the road. They'll be prepping for Zach Wilson. It's a little different situation. That Jets defense is fantastic, phenomenal. And this is a team that's going to battle. But, can you generate 4 turnovers every week? I don't know if they can do that against a Dallas team that, they looked pretty good. 40-0 against the Giants, no doubt. The pass rush, Parsons, with Zach Wilson back there, I think this could be a very, very bad spot. Cowboys are flirting with a 7.5 point spread. I already showed you the money line, minus 350. Definitely a candidate if you want to use them. Now, it's not just do we think they're going to win. Again, it's always a balance. This is the problem with Dallas for me. They play Arizona next week. They're home to the Patriots. They're home to the Rams. They're home to Washington. Those are all prime survivor spots throughout this year. Dallas is one of the most lucrative teams that you could have available. I really don't love the idea of burning them here, but if you want to go ahead and do that, I really don't see them losing. I think it's one of the easiest ways to move on to week 3. But Dallas Cowboys kicks us off as a potential survivor candidate. Now, before I give you my second pick, I also want to tell you maybe doing a little wagering on these games. I know I certainly was on Sunday, and one of the places that I did it was Caesars. Why? Because they had the best line on a few games that I wanted. Not because I don't use any other book. That's just not true. I use a ton of them. And if you don't use Caesars, new users, bet 50, get 250. After week 1, I know I could use some bonus bets. Getting a weekly $50 bonus bet 5 straight weeks is pretty damn appealing. Again, the link in the description. All you got to do, you click it, you sign up. New user, you bet that 50 and you're getting 250, win, lose, or draw in bonus bets. You do have to be 21 plus. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I'm telling you, Caesars right now, that is an offer to take advantage. Doesn't mean you have to move your whole balance over there. But to get those bonus bets, it is really worth exploring. Now, one down. We got to find a couple other candidates. I said this last week, and again, I want to be clear. You saw the risk reward with Minnesota. It burned you, burned me. I lost a lot of survivor teams. I'm going to give you another, if you want to roll the dice, not as big of a favorite as some of these other teams that we're going to talk about, but right here with Denver at home against the Commanders. You're seeing about a minus 175 to flirting with minus 200 on the money line. I think this is a spot, if you want to be a little different, that you could go to in Survivor this week. Let's talk about why. Well, Washington was a Survivor darling, and I think everyone that chose them is relieved that they never have to think about this team again with their selection, because they barely beat Arizona at home. Not a great situation. It's the NFL. It's hard to win. Howell, made some plays, made some mistakes. And I think that's kind of what you're going to get here. And now they have to hit the road and go to Mile High and take on Denver, a Denver team that lost to the Raiders to open the season, 17-16. Definitely a work in progress, no doubt about it. But they're still at home, a very strong home team, historically, notoriously. And again, Washington didn't inspire a lot of confidence. Like every team, what do I think you should do? You should look not only at this game, but where's the spot to use Denver? There's a couple. Texans, home to the Patriots later in the year. It's not that great. So the opportunity cost is relatively low. It's just the highest risk to lose of the teams that we're going to talk about. There's no doubt that the Cowboys have a better chance to win than the Broncos. The line indicates that. It's right on your screen. And that's why I brought that up over at Odd Chopper, just to kind of illustrate what we're talking about and where the risk reward is. So if you can get Denver through, I think it's a very cool selection. I think you won't be with a lot of people, and you will give yourself a chance to get really lucky if some of these big favorites happen to lose. It'll knock out a lot of people in your pool. And if you're playing in the large field pools, you have to do some of that to actually have a chance long term. You could survive longer the other way, but you will, in fact, be knocked out when you're boxed out with no reasonable teams left. So, Denver Broncos is that kind of against the grain, roll the dice candidate for Survivor this week. So, we talked about the Cowboys. We talked about the Broncos. I do have one more for you. Also, again, I do want to give Odd Shopper its due, its shout out. This is just the shopping tool. This is always available, but we of course have so much more there, from the parlay builder to just the market based approach where it's bringing up bets that have positive expected value. If you are interested in that type of stuff, 70% off the first month, promo code Let's Go, link in the description. Just go down there and test out Odd Shopper Premium. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But for like $1 a day for a month, think it's at least worth seeing if it can help, you know, just bump up your ROI a little higher for NFL season. It's a tough league to bet. Every little edge helps, and this does the work for you. It saves you a ton of time. Again, the links are there for you. Now, I mentioned too, where am I going in Survivor this week? Taking a conservative route, but at the same time, when I talk about this, it really helps when you look at the schedule. I'll be going to the Bills, the Buffalo Bills at home against the Raiders. Again, another team, they are off a short week, but man, should they be quite angry after that game. They gave that game away against the Jets. Now they come back home. They get the Raiders, who, man, I don't know what they did to the league office, the scheduling for the poor Raiders. They go to Mile High, escape with a win. Now you got to go to Buffalo. That is an awful start to the season. 1-1 is an impressive split. 2-0 would be really impressive, but I don't see that happening. The Raiders were 2-7 on the road last year. Bills 7-1 at home. And again, Allen, he's not going to have that many turnovers in this game. It's just not going to happen. We're talking about a minus 400 ish money line. It's a big favorite, one of, if not the biggest on the board. Buffalo's strong. They've got weapons all over the place. They're a better team than the Raiders. They not need this game, but you really don't want to start 0-2. Alarm bells will be going off if that happens. And although the Raiders had an impressive win with Jimmy J, Denver is Denver. We just talked about them. I think this is a huge step up again on the road. I really, really think that Buffalo, gets the job done here, and we'll move on for Survivor. The important part, though, of course, is Buffalo is an elite team. You don't want to just be burning these type of teams in weeks 1 and 2. We talked about that with Baltimore. Check out Buffalo's schedule. It's not that big of an opportunity cost. Of course, they're going to be favored in a lot of games because they're a really good team. They don't have the layup type games that I saw. I didn't see, I get Arizona and those type of teams. There really weren't a lot of spots. Their easiest games were on the road. I actually think this might be one of the best spots to take Buffalo all year, and that's what separated them from the Cowboys for me. There are ample opportunities to play Dallas later in the year, not as many spots to play this Buffalo Bills team. You're probably going to have to take them against maybe a divisional opponent in the Patriots, or find a non-con game that's just not that simple. One of the twist games, or maybe on the road. I didn't really want to do that. So for that reason, give me the Buffalo Bills in week 2 to survive and advance. There you have it. Again, if you have any questions, at JazzRazDFS, happy to help. Certainly you can find me in Discord as well. And hopefully we can get it moving. Again, Survivor, all about that risk reward. You want to make sure you get through. That's always priority number 1. But you got to plan ahead. And I think the Bills accomplished both of those tasks this week. Again, enjoy the games. Enjoy, obviously, everything else we've got going here at Odd Chopper, from college football to baseball, basketball soon enough. Can't wait for that. But in the meantime, let's get it done with Buffalo, and we'll do it again for week 3. For me, for the Bills, and for all of you guys, enjoy all the football this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.